What's good, guys? Today we're doing another tutorial. This is a tutorial for my birthday, so yeah. So I'm 11 years old now, so I'm teaching you guys how to do scratch stuff like you know, other stuff. Um Today I'll be teaching you how to make a car game. So let's delete all of these. So first we're gonna start off with a big rectangle with our favorite color, of course, like this. And then we're gonna aim for 55 times 100, and we're gonna lightly tint the color to be brighter. Once we've done another rectangle like this, and that rectangle is gonna be a little bit lighter so that it can be recognizable. There. Now once we've done that, we're gonna do another one over here. It's your choice if you want to add wheels like this. So, but if you want to add wheels, then be my guest. Oh, if you want to add the front wheels, then it's fine with me. I'm gonna go with this car. So of course, we're gonna start off with this car. But first, we're gonna ensure that this side, the back, is more has more space than the front. Also, we're gonna have an outline of red, having it sized to at least 20. That's enough for our spoiler. It's your choice if you also want to add a spoiler. Now, after you've done that, you can name this car, and also here you can name it car. Now for the steering. But first, we're gonna ensure that our car looks way smaller than it is right now. So let's do set size to 60. And once we've done that, it's gonna size our car down a little bit. So the difference between sizing this down then sizing it down in the costume editor is that the outlines will get way bigger if we size it down in the costume editor. But if we size it down on the real screen, it'll affect nothing. So let me first adjust my car right here so that it looks good. Now you may skip the video. I mean, you may um uh you may skip to the part of the video where the coding is at, but if you want to copy what I'm doing, then it's fine. There. Now, okay, there. Now after tampering with the costume, it's time to do the steering. So set size to 60. So after that, we're gonna of course switch the costume to car because we're gonna add more costumes. We're gonna add more costumes in the future. So switch costume to car and then set size to 60. And we also want it to stay in that position x0 and y0 once we start the game. And then now we're gonna take in a forever loop and two if thens for smooth movement. And we're gonna do two check pressed. And then we're also gonna ensure the car is gonna be it we're gonna also ensure the car that we're gonna ensure that the car is also gonna be fun to play with, okay? So of course, do we want the car to change direction while we're pressing the direction keys? No, we should only turn the car when it's going forward. So we're gonna put those key if space pressed in an if key I'm gonna go with the WASD. So if key W pressed, which is the forward, and key A or D pressed, A or D, which are the direction changes. So, but first we're gonna put a code right here in the middle of the W and A. Put move 3 steps and see if that's good. Oh, yeah, that's the problem. It's pointing at the top, but the sensing is right here. So you're gonna carefully take we're gonna carefully take your build car and then rotate it like this, and you're done. And now make sure it's centered. And now it works like a charm. Now, if key A pressed, we're gonna turn, and you can tamper it with this any way you like. So I mixed it up a little, but you can't turn it while the car is staying still. So that's basically one of the movement keys. Now we're also gonna do the same thing. We're gonna do the same thing, but with the S key. Oh, but we also gotta do -3 for the S1. So it's testing time, and works like a charm. If you want to tamper with this, I won't stop you. For now, let me put my speed up to 7 and -5. We want the going backwards to be slower. So maybe like -4. That's fine. Like this. Uh, but if you want, other kinds of movement, then be my guest. But I'm gonna stick to the original one first. So yeah, that's the movement of the car. Now, if you want to tamper with this, then go ahead. But me, I'm gonna pause the recording first, and I'm gonna figure out all of these keybinds wherever I want to. And there, I figured out all of the codes. Now, what we're gonna do is the headlights. So go to the costume and zoom in on this part of the car. Or if yours doesn't have one, then do this. Get a yellow, a possibly yellow circle, and then make sure that you get rid of the outline. So make sure that you have that exact spot right there. Make sure this thing is visible. There we go. For me, I'm gonna adjust it all the way over here. Actually, no, it's fine. There we go. Those are the headlights. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna duplicate the costume, and then we're gonna make a costume with two rectangles like this, and make sure they're not sticking to each other, only with a little bit of outline. With a little bit of space between them. Now, we're gonna fix this by deleting one of the corners and then putting the left out corner in that side in the front. So what this is gonna do, it's gonna make that ray of light that you usually want in a car's headlight. So now we're gonna repeat that on the other rectangle. If you want it to be bigger, then be my guest. But if your triangles are not equal, I would recommend stretching one of them like this. Now that everything's fixed, we're gonna do we're gonna do a little bit of adjusting. Yes, that's better now. But here's one problem. Since you can't do the transparency with this, we're gonna do this. Look at this. So first you're gonna select the lights since it's centered. Now copy and carefully delete it. Choose another sprite and then paste it. It's gonna be on that exact same spot. So now we're gonna name it car lights. Now we're gonna name this costume lights. Now forever, we're gonna do a forever loop. Go to car and point in direction. Um, we're gonna set a car over there and direction of car, and we're gonna put a forever loop. Of course, and now that works like a charm. It also has a little bit of physics into it. There we go. Now, what we're also gonna fix is that we're gonna we're gonna we're gonna set ghost effect to 50 so that it's okay. It's fading away. There we go. Now it can brighten up all places. Now forever, if actually no, we're gonna put an if else, which means if the condition is happening, this is in this lot, that's what's gonna happen, and in else, this is what's gonna happen if it's not if the command is not triggering. So we're gonna do if key space press, then point in direction of car, and go to car. So that means else we're gonna hide it. So yeah, now as you can see, it's hidden, and if I hold the space key, it'll show, and that's how you create a flashlight. But if you don't want this if key space check, then you may also go over here and do this show, and then I'm gonna duplicate the key space press and pick any key you want to turn off the flashlight. I'm gonna pick the closest the closest button I know that is next to space is Z. But I'm gonna also make this X. You cannot you I mean you have a choice not to follow me. So yes. So when X is pressed, it's gonna show. But I actually want to invert these since why not? There we go. And now since the flashlight is done, we're gonna test it on an actual object. Now we can of course go over this object, but we also want this to roll over it like it's an actual object that on the floor. So go to front layer on that. And now you can go over it like it's an actual object. Now, if we press the X key, of course it's gonna go under it because it's not set. Of course, and it's not doing the check anymore. So it's only triggering if Z is pressed. we're gonna do a forever loop on point in direction of car and go to car. So there, but not in the show one. And then we've run into our first problem. So forever, it's pointing in direction of car, and it's showing if Z is pressed. That's why I did the check a while ago. It's better if you just leave it like that. But you can figure out your own way if you want to. But if you want to follow me, then be my guest. So point in direction of car and show. Else hide. Oh sorry. If else hide, remove the forever loop. And we're gonna also remove these key checks. And there we go. Now there we go. Now, but the car light should be at one of the front layers. So go to front layer. The car is gonna run its first. That means it's gonna be the first front layer, and then the car lights is gonna run its scripts next. So that means the car lights is gonna be the first thing at the front layer. That means if you press space, okay, if you press space, it's gonna use its flashlight on the object. Congratulations, you've success. If you if you've managed to if you've managed to reach as far, then that means you're an excellent coder. So I commend you for that. So we don't want to make this object solid. We want to make this a parking game. So make this parking slot, and then we're gonna name this slot. Now we're gonna make this just as big for the car to be able to enter it. Then place it anywhere you want. And now we're gonna fill the outline with the exact same color of this and make it at least five, and then no outline. So that's what's gonna happen. Then move it a little bit at the bottom so it can be seen. But we're also gonna do this. But also the outline should blend in with the background. So we don't want to put a background in this game. But I'm gonna show you if you want to put a background. Actually, yeah, like this, and the fill is gonna be white there. The fill is gonna be white. There we go. Now, if it's touching color white, okay. Now Let's go here. Also, remember to delete the card too, where we used to test our flashlight. Now, let's go over here. When green flag click forever, if touching touching color. Okay, we're also gonna do and color so that we can make sure if it's touching red or white. So red, we're gonna pick that exact same red that we used for the outline and the exact same white that we used for that. So if touching color white and touching color red, actually we're also gonna change the backdrop. You know how I said I don't need the backdrop is white, so we don't want it to be like that. I know I'm being a bit confusing for news crackers. Okay, my ate just popped the balloon, and now I was very shocked. So yeah, huh? Sabi ko sa'yo eh. Hold up, I gotta speak to my ate for a sec. Okay, my ate is laughing even though I screamed at her very loud. Okay, so now if touching color and touching color this, so we're just gonna do nothing. And okay, let's try this. First, we're gonna move the car over here, and we're gonna remove this, and it's true. But if we go on the parking slot perfectly, it's gonna be false. That's why we want to park the car perfectly. So if touching color white, we're gonna put that back in. But if touching color white, then we're gonna, okay, first we're gonna make another called there. So sorry, it's overlapping. So we're gonna make this say, we're gonna make this pure green, and then we're gonna put some text in it saying you win. So you can't see it right now because it's green. So we're gonna change the fill to red. Now we're gonna say you win. Now we're gonna now we're gonna name this finished and final screen. After that, we're gonna go to the events category, and then we're gonna put, I'll go to x00, and then we're gonna hide it, and then now if touching, I mean if touching color that, then hide. I mean show. I mean sorry. So we're gonna broadcast a message called I'm finished. But I do mind my capitalization, so yeah. I'm finished. Now now and when it's received, hide, oh, show. And when it receives I'm finished, then show. So yeah. So first hide this. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna park the car. We're gonna park the car perfectly in um we've ran into our next problem. We're gonna do we're gonna try to solve this and not touching color. Now, let's try this again. There we go. Now we need to park it perfectly. There we go. And if it does not do the check, beep beep beep, it says you win. And then we're gonna do stop all, and then we're also gonna do the front layer. I know there's a lot of front layers, but don't mind. Go to front layer. There we go. Now once we're done, the parking slot. Now we're gonna move this to the center. To prevent it from doing this, we're gonna put it into a random position, and then do this. Now we've run into our next problem. The car can park on it perfectly. Actually, it can. Sorry. So we're just gonna make it go to a random position every time we do when green flag clicked. But here's our next problem. If it runs into an edge, actually, I don't think it can run into an edge. Actually, yeah, like this. So if we want to park it like this, um, never mind. So yeah, that's the tutorial, guys, and thank you. Goodbye.